I guess turning into an annual event for you and the Florida Panthers, the third time. How does it feel?
Really good. A bit of almost of an achievement. People had said you must be getting used to this by now. This year was a real challenge. There was a lot of unknown on how much of it, you come in with the Stanley Cup hangover. It's just you need to switch energy sources because you don't have that same kind of drive in November, December. But what we found was as it got closer, it started to build. And we hit the playoffs excited, and then kind of each round that's gone on, you're back to that high energy excitement, and that's where we find ourselves today.
You know, you talk about it's a long year. You went through it the year before, but you had been on the short end. So there is that feeling of trying to get back and win. They have a little bit of that this year. Is that something you guys have talked about?
I don't know that we had an advantage coming into that series last year because we had lost. We also would have equally carried the, oh hell, not two in a row, right? Yeah. So there's something to that too. I don't know. I think it's important that we're playing each other, right? That evens everything out. We're hungry because we all, and Edmonton understands this too, it is so hard to get here. The things that have to go right beyond you being good, you have to stay healthy. All of those things have to come together. So I think maybe slightly different energy sources possibly, but equally as powerful.
You know, I want to ask you about the season as well, because I remember seeing you in Finland
Right.
early in the year, and it's one thing to go back when you didn't win the year before. It's very hard to repeat, as you know, Paul.
Right.
It doesn't get done, especially in this era right now. You talked about the season. The schedule was kind of crazy. Did that help you in some ways to have a trip like that early? Was it a lot?
So I will look back at it and say it's great, but I didn't like it 3 weeks after we got home. So we lost 6 or 7 games in about the second and third week of November, and we looked at like we were a step behind everything. But that was a special trip. We had won the Cup. We've got the 4 Finns, Tuomo Ruutus with 5 Finns. Bill Zito played in Finland. For those men, they were kind of showing off their country, and they got to go back as champions. And everybody in that room loves those guys. So it was a real special kind of get-together for that group. And then we came home. We couldn't win a game. So when I look back at it, I think it was great. At the time, I didn't care for it.
You got some different people this year on your team. You have the core guys are mostly the same, but some different guys. Where do you feel this team is this year as you prepare for a third straight run at it?
The new guys we needed this year, and that would be the thing that maybe we've learned. You got to bring in a certain amount of energy after, because the guys who got a lot of games on them, they don't lack character. It's just hard for them to get up for a game in November, December. Yeah. It's because that's, I think, where we felt it. That was where we looked tired and felt tired. You got to bring in some energy. So the Greer, and even like what Jona Gadjevich now is in our lineup, so that's kind of a new guy. Jones and Marchand are both new energy guys, but really high-end players. So having that right kind of guy come in is critical. I heard Matthew Tkachuk answer a question like that, and he said, I don't know that we could have got back here. We won a Stanley Cup with those guys, and they're really, really good players, but we almost needed a certain portion of our team to be new to bring that hunger back in.
How about the Edmonton Oilers? They look different this year. I mean, you know how it was. You got there one year, the next year you won it. They got there last year, and it was a hell of a series. Came up a little short. They have some different pieces this year. They look like a dangerous team.
Right. So each of us going into last year had a definable strength that bore out analytically as well. They're a really good offensive team, and we were close to being the best defensive team. I don't think that's changed for either team, but what both teams have done is almost added to the other parts. They're a better defensive team than they were last year. We like our offensive game better than we did last year. Adding Brad and Seth, those are offensive pieces. So we've both improved. I don't even know if it was a weakness, but we have both improved the part of the game that wasn't our strengths, and our strengths are still as good as they've ever been.
All right, last one for you. You said earlier in the week that being part of the Panthers team and being around, I think you talked about the players, was kind of a life-altering thing for you. Maybe you can just, give me an idea, or the viewers an idea of like how it's been life-altering for you.
Fair enough. So I don't even know if I can do it justice. Watch these guys for 3 years. When I first got the job, I called all of them, and I kept getting off the phone and saying to my wife, this guy's different. These guys are different. I couldn't understand what it was, and it took me a long time to figure out the way they treat each other every day. Not only that, the way they train for each other in the summer, so they all come back and they all work hard. And the way they test together, they all test hard. And you don't have to in this league. Like if Barkey doesn't go hard on the bike, he's making the team, right? So, but they push each other for that, and they do it. And the way they hang with each other, and they're brothers. So there's some chirping every once in a while between brothers, but they support each other. And when I came, we're talking about almost 30 years ago. It was a different time.
Yeah.
And it was a different culture in the game. They are. Where it has affected me is it allowed me to actually treat them like they treat each other. So I don't have to be going spitting nails every day. And I don't have to jump on every single problem in the room because it gets sorted out. And the mistakes aren't made because they don't care. They care. They just make mistakes. Yeah. So it's the altering part for me. I've completely changed the way that I interact with them, I think, as a coach. Not completely. In a large part, changed the way. Because I've watched them and I've learned from them. How they treat each other is far more like how I treat them now. I learned that from them.
Well, Paul, listen, thanks for the time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
3 in a row. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks, AJ. I appreciate that very much.